The greatest threat that I see for the United States of America right now is the loss of the culture that made the United States what they are. Since the 70s, people debate about the decline of the power of the United States of America. And today we're still here. And we're still talking about a possible end of this superpower. I actually think that it depends on what happens in the internal dynamics, the culture, the politics inside. For example, when I hear sentences like the one that AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, pronounced, she said, billionaires don't make billions, they take it. They take it away from people. When you hear things like that, beyond being economically false, because it assumes the fact that there's no added value, okay, which is wrong, okay. The output has always more value than the input, which means that those who produce the final product or service are creating, actually, wealth. But beyond the technicalities of this, what this means, saying things like this, means not emphasizing the importance of entrepreneurship, not emphasizing the importance of people building their own destiny. What entrepreneurship was sponsored as. Like, you do your thing, and if the market is going to tell you you're right and you're the best, not right, you're the best, you're going to win. No matter what. And nobody can take it away from you. Because if the market told you you're the best, you win. If they lose that culture, they're going to lose. Because I think that's what they made them great. They let people do whatever they wanted to do with their life. And they pushed them. They created this massive culture of doing it by yourself. Creating your own thing. Going there, no matter what the judgment of anybody is going to be, and test the market. And they're losing that. I hope it's just going to be temporary. The greatness of the American democracy has always been trying to give these kind of feelings that might be temporary, we hope, sort of expression so that people feel recognized and feel that they exist. But then these things don't change ultimately the structure of the American economy and the American state. A lot of people talk about the fact that China is rising. China is, of course, it's of course the first superpower in the world. Even if it's not, it's going to be so. I mean, look at the demographic problem that China has. They had the so-called V-shaped society, which they have a lot of older people and much less younger people. Relatively. People look at the population and say, whoa, they are 2 billion, I don't know how much they are, like 2 billions, or around 2 billions. You have to look at the relative age. And it's a disaster. It's a disaster. It's like in some of the oldest European countries. Why? Because they imposed to people how many kids they could have. You see, when you have someone at the top who has the power and the authority to say, people down there, you do what I wanted you to do, it's a disaster. And the admiration that it's coming up for China and the fact that, that system maybe works better than ours, that's the problem. Those are the sentences that scares the shit out of me about the possible decline of the United States. Because that's the alternative. Is that what you want? Someone saying, hey, you down there, you do what I tell you to do. You can't have the kids you wanted to have. Beyond the dramatic and acceptable imposition that thing is, That's the economic problem. People are not going to be able to pay for pensions. The social contributions, so the taxes paid on salary are going to be much higher. So this is going to be counterproductive. And it's going to slow down the economy. So I truly hope, we're in 2022, I truly hope that in 2024 the United States are going to have a better presidential debate than the ones they have had in the past, in the last 2 times, at least. And so, why? Because that moment, that presidential election, is a very important cultural moment for America and the West, for what we define as a model, or at least we used to define, and we can start again defining as a model of freedom and prosperity. And while some may laugh at the word freedom and prosperity, thinking about what happened in the US in the last times, in the last period of time, I want to remind you that no matter how we may dislike the system, we are the ones with the highest standards of living in the world right now and ever in history.